Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. So we have built up enough infiltration here, we can begin our preparation of sleeper cells with the hegemony of Ubaria. One of our fleets has reached full capacity, Strike Force Medusa. We have one more ship to queue up for Strike Force Gorgon before we are ready to build our anchorages. And I decided to start clearing the crumbling mining tunnels here. A network of deep tunnels beneath the planet's surface seem to have been its primary source of minerals. Millennia of cave-ins and rockfalls have left only a fraction of the tunnels traversable. Many of the ruins on the planet's surface were built by minerals extracted from these tunnels. Although most have been mined to depletion, there are still several with rich yields. Now that's going to take another 9 months on top of this month that the flooded reactor pits are still going. An additional thing I would like to do is go ahead and contact the Curators. We possess detailed star charts of the entire galaxy, gathered by explorers from 100 different races. Perhaps they would be of interest to you. We want them to aid our research. Of course, we are prepared to offer you limited access to our extensive databanks for a period of 10 standard years. This should provide a significant boost to research efforts of your planet-side research labs. We'll require compensation for this service naturally, but I think you'll find that our prices are very reasonable. 4,000 energy credits for a 10% research speed. We're going to purchase that service. Pleasure doing business with you. How else might our keen insights and inestimable records be of service to you? Now, another thing I could do is shift some population over here to work these researcher jobs. I could see if I could pull some... I doubt I can free up the entertainer slots for my Farine. I think they will just pull out Metallurgist and others because I can't shift these guys over to be the others anyway. But I could probably spare an Artisan and a Metallurgist or so on a couple of these worlds to build up my research a little faster. Although I don't really want to dip too heavy into my alloys, I'm trying to build up fleets quickly so I can start getting aggressive. Because getting aggressive will get me technology through the debris. It will also get me more territory, which will boost my economy. Or vassals, rather, which will boost my economy. Now, another thing I'd like to check is the agreement we have. Can I stop giving you tech? No. That is the least amount I can give them. So that's what I wanted to check to see if I could cut down on the amount of tech I was giving them. Now, if I were to negotiate that, they won't give me anything and it will affect their monthly loyalty. So we're going to hold off on that for now. They don't have any strategic resources. Our Grand Marshal has died. They keep re-electing the oldest one and they die fairly quickly. Alright. Who do we have? Nobody that I really want to waste unity on, I don't think. Oh, this one would be nice though. That would cost 2,000 of my unity to do that, which is a 10-month setback on getting my next tradition. But that 10% extra research speed could really help out right now. We are going to elect Ning Sima. And that was the one assisting research in Deneb. Let us recruit another researcher. We're actually doing military theory right now. So let us get Win Situ, our military theorist, stick Sakane assisting research on Unity. And let us go ahead and resettle. Let's see, let's take an artisan from Unity and an artisan from St. Natchbel, just to give us a couple more researchers and see how that affects our time. It knocked 5 months off of the fastest one, which was fairly useful. This will be done tomorrow.
Special project complete.
The first leak proves that reliance on other races is folly that leads to weakness and self-destruction. Some of their advanced construction methods may, however, be of possible use. We gained weather control systems, anti-gravity engineering, progress toward the First League filing office, a 15% industry research, and a 10% planetary build speed.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Weather control systems, the ability to alter a planet's weather patterns to suppress destructive weather phenomenon, will make residential buildings easier to maintain and open up new areas for habitation. I don't know why I clicked that. Anti-gravity engineering was another one that popped up, I believe. So yeah, a little over a year before we finally get the mining subsidies. We have an influential figure within the Latrepian culture. We picked up a pop icon. Wittig. It's actually an Uthabulan. Entertainment figure that has used up their 15 minutes of fame and is willing to do absolutely anything to return to the spotlight. Manipulation and economy doesn't help me out too awfully much. Since our new infiltration level will get up to 60, I'd like to get closer to it before I go to acquire another asset, so that we get a little bit more intel on them first. That's also what I'm waiting for here. We can go all the way up to 65 here, so I'm letting it build up. I'm going to renegotiate the agreement with our prospectorium to up the amount of holdings we get to 4. And I am also churning out some more armies. Churning out another human assault army and 2 slave armies, because I plan on adding a 3rd garrison and landing 3 more armies on their planet to boost their loyalty gain even more, so I can negotiate terms again later to make them join all of my wars instead of just my defensive ones. They don't have great fleets, but they have a fleet. We also established an embassy with them. That will also boost relationship and give me more intel on their systems. They agreed to the terms, so we now have a holding limit of 4. So I can go to their other planet, Abundance, and I've got a commercial forum here from the Tendrazun. I can build another Overlord garrison, and I can go back to their capital, and there should be a Prospectorium specific holding I can put on here. Off-World Foundry. I think that is the specific one for the Prospectorium. It'll give me 9 more alloys at the cost of 18 food from them. See, how many catalytic technicians do they have here? 1. They have a lot of miners, farmers. I could just put the Ministry of Truth on here to get influence. It would give me half a point. Yeah, I think we will go with the Overlord Foundry. It'll take a while to build. By then I should have the armies over here and landed. They only take a few months. They immediately recalled their embassy. That's because their loyalty dropped, so their subject opinion dropped. They'll put it back eventually. Or we can try and put it back eventually. New faction led by Grand Marshal Ning Sima call themselves the One Throne Group. Their members have been pushing hard for an extreme centralization of political and military power. So our first slave army is available. We'll go ahead and tell them to land. Now this new faction currently only has one member, but has 90% approval rating, and as you see, we've now got the approval rating up here to 74. Still only 5% bonus to happiness. So the One Throne Group is an authoritarian ethos. Totalitarian factions dream of a strictly stratified society led by a single authority figure, or cabal. I have a housing shortage here on Proclaz, so I interrupted the crumbling mining tunnels to start working on a city district. I'm now at my naval capacity. That still does not satisfy high naval capacity usage, so I need to boost my naval capacity. I'm in the process of upgrading Tinab Station to an anchorage. My other two armies have all been completed, so we will have them all land on Abundance. Why can I not tell them to land? Maybe because I have 3 selected. Cancel that. Let's just go one at a time and tell them all to land. Yeah, I can tell them to land when I have them as individual armies. Otherwise, I'd have to have them merge, I think. Who am I? A scan of the habitat's logs reveals its control system was activated again on multiple occasions decades after the life support was disabled. Someone overrode security, entered a maintenance hatch, and accessed the Memorex. A data pad and a tiny blue memory orb, a smaller version of the Memorex, lie discarded by the hatch. The data pad is filled with the frenzied thoughts of someone on the brink of madness. Again and again, the same questions are repeated with growing despair. Who am I? What happened on Ix-Baleen? The final entry reads, now that I know, I must forget one last time. Perhaps the orb will reveal what was forgotten. I'm beginning a mastery of nature here on Unity. And I need to get my energy credits back up a little bit, so I'll go back to selling a few minerals. Spymaster Diva Vinctasian recently launched a quiet investigation into her own operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria after noticing a recent drop in their performance. She has discovered these operatives skimming from resources allocated to intelligence gathering and bribes. These goods and currencies are being reinvested elsewhere in the Ubarian business concerns, earning the operatives a comfortable profit at our expense. As a result, their attention and loyalties have clearly become divided. Progress on Operation Prepare Sleeper Cells has been put on hold for the moment until Spymaster can reassert operational efficiency. This cannot be tolerated. Issue reprimands, or we can just dispose of the operatives. Let's just issue reprimands starting out. Our operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria are no longer skimming resources from our spy network allocation. Firm reminders of just where their loyalties lie have reinvigorated the operative's sense of dedication. They will turn their resourceful talents wholly to our cause. Give us a little bit of an infiltration level boost there. The Traposian Collective has been destroyed by its enemies. I honestly can't remember where they were. Maybe somewhere around here. Yeah, I think there were a little empire in between a couple of borders here. So I now have enough intel to know a lot about the other empires. The only one that's listed as superior still is only listed as having equivalent fleet power. But its technology level is overwhelming compared to mine. Now, the United Nations of Earth is also equivalent. They're superior in economic and technology, but equivalent in fleet power. The Uthabulan allied clans are pathetic compared to ours, and the Latrepian domains are inferior. The other member of the allied independent systems, the hegemony of Ubaria, is listed as inferior compared to ours. So we're about ready to start our invasion. I still would like to get all three fleets up to full, because I am going to have to defend from two directions, and they can just merge all of their fleets into a death ball and come in from one direction, which would be difficult since it is three empires. But I have got my military war machine going now, so it shouldn't be too much longer before we're ready to invade the hegemony of Ubaria and knock it out of the alliance and make it our vassal. And then we can pick off the other two fairly easily. After that, we can start moving against like the allied Multics territories to add them to our domain. But I sent out a lot of embassy requests because I noticed I could establish embassies with quite a few of the empires. So those
Science Division report success.
will all be popping up soon. Group of auxiliary operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria have begun shying away from assigned tasks, citing a lack of confidence in their overall purpose. Spymaster Divya Vinktasian would typically handle such matters without bringing them to our attention, but even without them knowing any details, these operatives seem unusually well informed about Operation Prepare Sleeper Cells, and perhaps the spy network as a whole. Given that these auxiliaries are kept isolated from our more active and better informed agents, Divya suspects the operatives are being fed information from an outside source. She also concedes that they may simply be highly perceptive individuals. Given these doubts and the threats posed to Operation Prepare Sleeper Cell by each scenario, Spymaster Divya requests a directive on how to proceed. So we can either spend 600 energy credits and have +2 operation difficulty for 12 months, or have a 2 in 3 chance of getting that same modifier, the panicked operatives. We'll roll the dice on this. Let's see where these insights may lead. We have mineral purification. Optimal processing of mined minerals have allowed us to reach new levels of efficiency. Let's see, we can boost our planetary build speed, our mining station output. We can get crystal mines. That one would take 5 years. Let's see. That one would take 4 years. So this one, the engineering research from researchers, we've got a significant amount of progress towards. Be 4 years to boost our planetary build speed. I think the super solid materials is the best choice. It's about 5.5 years, but it'll boost our overall engineering output, and we are starting to get a lot from jobs now. Yeah, we're getting 66 from jobs, and we have more jobs coming up. So I think that's going to be the better choice at this point to help boost our research a little faster. Unwavering insight. Our auxiliary operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria have applied themselves with unusual fervor upon learning that their once intangible suspicions were founded in a real cause after all. Spymaster Divya Vingtasian maintains a strict information quarantine but reports that her supply lines have never been smoother. That reduces operation difficulty for the next 3 years. And we are currently doing the sleeper cells. When we complete it, we should be able to acquire an asset because the prepare sleeper cells will also give us a +1 to our operation level. So we establish an embassy with the Allied Multics territories. Now that helps with our base intel level, having an embassy. The Etherian Galactic League, Soren Combined Clans, stop growling at me, and the Veteresian League all accepted embassies. Sovereignty of Tuxkali entered a migration treaty with the Soren Combined Clans. We have an embassy with the hegemony of Ubaria. Even though they had like -16, currently -16 relations, they were still interested in a embassy with us. The Misharan state we have an embassy with. We'll probably lose this one pretty quickly because they are harming relations. Now they are on the other side of the galaxy from us, so I don't care if they do harm relations and decide to become our rival. Sovereignty of Tuxkali established an embassy with us. We have an embassy with our vassal again. We have an embassy with the Glostwerhenian Galactic Hierarchy. We've established an embassy with the Laptarian domains and the United Nations of Earth. The United Miravandian Imperium recalled their embassy again. They apparently do not want to keep embassy relations with us. We have +40. They're belligerent, that's probably why. As their loyalty increases, eventually we should be able to get them. It's probably because we've closed our borders to them. We could open our borders to them. They are our vassal, after all. And let's try establishing the embassy again now that we've opened our borders. Now that we've claimed all the immediate territory we wanted to claim, I have no reason to keep them locked in. Mushroom picking. A routine ecological study of our colony on Proclass has stumbled upon a strange fungal life form. The science team reports that the surface of the mycelium is shimmering and colorful, but what was most intriguing to them was the fact that separate clusters were seemingly communicating with one another whenever something occurred within a wide radius. Furthermore, the biology of the organism appears to be clearly alien to the ecosystem of the colony. Puzzled, the Locust science team has requested a specialized support, as we might be dealing with a sentient species. Well, I'm curious about these things, but we may end up disposing of them later if they seem to be a threat. This is the relic world that the First League was on. We'll take a closer look at them. Now, that did not add a situation just yet. Alright, they've reestablished the embassy. How long till they kick us back out? Hopefully opening the borders was sufficient.
Construction complete.
Our first starbase is now up and running. We're going to start adding anchorages here. And I am also upgrading Tenab, Tibor, and Ilithium. So all of these that were on the patrol routes are going to become anchorages. That's 4 more that we will have, which leaves me 1 extra starbase to build somewhere else. I might go to like Grekel and build a shipyard. I'm not sure yet where I want the last one. We've got enough under construction right now, I don't really need to worry about it. Another thing I was able to discover now that I have the intel is they did indeed have the common ground origin, which I figured out as soon as I noticed their organization was not a hegemony. Now it looks like, if I look at these two say start as a member of a non-hegemony. This one, members will occupy guaranteed habitable worlds, and they start with the Federation traditions unlocked. So this is the leader. This one started as the leader, and these two were their subjects. Jazajan Democratic Administration has broken its migration treaty with the Misharan state. The spores have ears, and the hills have eyes. We have concerning reports coming from Proclass. Upon further examination, it seems that the alien fungus we found is emitting a signal toward a location in the galaxy that we were unable to pinpoint so far. Telemetry and security analysis indicate that it is completely possible for the mycelium to be some kind of advanced spying organism. However, it is worth noting that this organism is old. There's a fair chance that whomever engineered these spying mushrooms is not around anymore. But if they are, it might be best not to poke the sleeping predator. It's too risky to destroy them. Now, if we need to know more, it would give me a site where the desiccated dig site is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in somebody else's territory at this point. It's not going to generate a new site in my territory. So we're just going to destroy them for the influence at this point.
Construction complete.
Our second starbase is up and running. Now we no longer need to patrol these 2 systems. I do need to set up that these are just hopscotching along this way. So I no longer need to patrol. Let's set this one's base to Shaula and send them home. It's going to take over a year to get there. And I can also, let's see, I'm about 3 months away from getting an anchorage built. About to start on another one here, as well as another one here. If I reinforce this fleet, how long is it going to take to build? A little over 3 months, so I will have the first anchorage done before I have that reinforcement. Now, between these 4 anchorages, I should be able to get... It will be 12 naval capacity, 48 naval capacity total. That will get me up to 170. That should be enough to finish out this fleet and get started on reinforcing my 3rd fleet up a little bit. But I'm going to come up a little shy until I get a little bit more before I can fully reinforce all 3 of these fleets. Now, I had calculated having this, which I will have in a year and a half. I will have the Naval Logistics Office I can put on these star bases. That's the reason I was counting them as 12 instead of just 8. But I can further increase my naval capacity when I am ready to be a little bit more belligerent by switching from belligerent to supremacist. That'll give me another 10% to my naval capacity. Of course, that harms relations with all other empires in the supremacist diplomatic stance, and I can declare rivals without having to harm relations. It also doubles my diplomatic weight from fleet power, which should help significantly here. I am dropping rather quickly, though, unfortunately. Alright, their fleet power is 290. Mine is 291. So I actually do have more fleet power than the Soren combined clans. The allied Multics has stronger fleet than me. I'm equivalent to... Actually, it was United Nations of Earth. Yeah, United Nations of Earth and Soren combined clans I'm equivalent to. I have a stronger fleet than the Misharans. I have a stronger fleet than most of these others, I'm pretty sure. Let's look at the ones that are important, the ones I'm about to attack. They have a 154 compared to my 291. They have a 103. And where's their other ally? .107. So the strongest fleet is actually the Latrepian domains. So 154, 107, and 103. That's 210 between those two. So 364 is what they have compared to my 291. They have about 70 more than me, and I am still building up my fleets. So very soon we will be at least equivalent, and I will have the economy to quickly recoup from losses, so I can handle a close fight to knock one of them into a vassalage for me, so that I can turn around and pick apart these two later.
New sit rep.
Birth of the Galactic Market. It is a regrettable fact that we have consistently failed to quash the illicit trade with the Xenos. Equally regrettable is that the economic benefits of a largely anonymous form of trade decoupled from international relations cannot be denied. In the coming years, independent traders and government agencies will be looking to establish a quasi-centralized hub for galactic commerce. The economic gains from playing host to such a nexus might well outweigh the burdens of harboring alien goods, so we can choose to promote one of our worlds for this purpose. So let's have a look at Unity and see what that would entail. 150. So we wouldn't be able to nominate it for another 4 months. April, we'll be able to make a nomination if we want.
Construction complete.
My third starbase is now online. So I should be able to reinforce another one. Actually, I should be able to reinforce pretty much every time I can, because my anchorages have given me sufficient naval capacity now. So we're going to nominate Unity to be the Galactic Market Hub. Nominate a planet which produces a lot of trade value, as that will make it more likely to be chosen. This is the one with my highest trade value. It is adequate. I don't think I'm going to further boost it up. And it appears I didn't start an upgrade on my 4th station just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and keep on filling out this fleet first before I worry about that. I have sufficient surplus naval capacity right now. Misharan State made peace with the sacrosanct Garothian Empire with the status quo. So nothing changed. We have established sleeper cells within the Ubarian, the hegemony of Ubaria. Within the next year, we've got to re-establish sleeper cells here in the United Uthabulan clans. Saraya's last memory orb. The orb's first memory shows Dr. Saraya spearheading the development of the Memorex to great acclaim. Another memory from years later shows her secretly wiping Memorex data for unknown reasons. Yet another memory is of Saraya working frantically on restoring the residents' memories, but to no avail. They stare emptily ahead, heads lolling. All but the autonomic brain functions lost. Finally admitting defeat, she hides the evidence of her crimes. She watches alone as the Ixbaline residence is pulled into the gravity well of the gas giant it once orbited. Feelers secreting large amounts of mucus in what is believed to be an alien expression of great distress.
Construction complete.
Now I just need to finish the research in about 8 months to get a naval logistics office to place on these. They all have both of their anchorages queued up right now.
Construction complete.
Tybor Station now has both of its anchorages. The Glostwerhernian are in a migration treaty with the hegemony of Ubaria. Uthabulan allied clans are in a migration treaty with the Galactic Destican polity. I think they have been in a migration with them before and apparently broke it. Despite recent skill improvements owing to accumulated experience, Governor Paige Douglas seems to be approaching the limits of her ability. Arrested development still has a level cap of 5. Personal development and skills of this leader seem to have plateaued. Well, that's not one I'm worried about. That is the governor of Corinth. I'm going to eventually spin this off to be another vassal of mine.
Construction complete.
There's the last anchorage for now. And we're about a year away from having our next one, which will be the security contractors, which I really didn't want to pass. What if I support this one? Yes, buzzword standardization would jump up there. Regulatory facilitation would not make it to the top. Cooperative research channels probably wouldn't either. So the recycling initiatives or the buzzword standardization, I could get bumped up. That's about it. So your economic weight is 368. Mine is 228. Soren has a much stronger economy than me. A lot of these are getting a stronger economy than me now. I've been focused heavily on military, which unfortunately has limited my economic growth a bit because I am trying my best to produce a lot of alloys. Security contractors would reduce my naval capacity. Sure, it would give me access to a mercenary enclave, but I'd have to give up an entire fleet for that. I'm not ready for that. Let's go ahead and have buzzword standardization pass. My economy will get stronger, especially once I add a few more tributaries or vassals. I have begun acquiring an asset with the hegemony of Ubaria. In about 10 months, I will need to renew sleeper cells here in the Uthabul allied clans. I should have the influence to do that when it comes around. Following a long period of growing support for the Xeno Awareness Lobby, the Allied Multics territories have finally embraced the faction, adopting their core values and policies. As a result, bringing this faction into their government, they have become more outwardly xenophilic. Egalitarian spiritualist xenophiles. Theocratic Republic. United Nations of Earth are in a migration treaty with the Jazajan Democratic Association. We have another proposal. Military Readiness Act. Each member of the Galactic community has a duty to themselves and others to contribute to Galactic defense. If they are not a vassal of another empire and using less than half their naval capacity, they are in breach. This further boosts naval capacity. The Gudgan autocracy proposed this. I will support it.
Science Division reports success.
Interstellar fleet traditions. A body of knowledge regarding combat behaviors is useless without a strong code governing its use. We can finally get the mountains. That was one that has a lot of blockers. We could get more pop growth speed. That would be useful. That one's fairly quick, too. More Edict Fund is also very useful. The First League filing offices boost unity from bureaucrats, managers, and priests, and adds 2 bureaucrat jobs. That one would take a long time, though. This is fairly quick. But I believe the pop growth speed is going to help me out more right now. It's 39 months for that. About 3 years. Compared to a little over 2 for that. I think I do want to get the pop growth speed first. Genome mapping. I don't think I have a biologist. I do not. I do want to get that so that my populations will grow a little faster, since I am doing forced growth anyway. Well, that does remind me, a few of these planets had just had a growth. I wanted to go through and make sure they had put them where I needed them. Yeah, that one went to be a metallurgist. This one, I have to empty out the entertainers and refill them. There we go, to bump him to be an artisan. And we're on the verge of needing more amenities. So let me go ahead and add another city district. That way I could pull one of the technicians over to be a clerk. Well, I can hold off on that and keep the technician running for now, because it'll be 3 years before I have another pop and I'm a bit lower. Yeah, I need an extra clerk here because my amenities are low again. Let's actually make this guy a technician for now, so that we have our surplus of that. The food is not that critical. We'll get a farmer next. Went ahead and started a city district here because of the housing. And I did move over a Farine as soon as I got the entertainers built, so that I can have Farine breeding over here as well to fill up the entertainer and clerk spots. We have another proposal. Repeal the Readied Shield. Oppose that. Praku Grand Duchy wants that. Federations and defensive pacts are where military matters should be discussed, not on the Senate floor. No, we are going to discuss them on the Senate floor. Allied Multics is in a commercial pact with United Latrepian domains. We have a new resolution. Looks like the Military Readiness Act got canceled and then proposed by the hierarchy of Moffith. We have a new archaeological site that popped up. Way over here. That's one I'm not going to worry about. The Alien Equality Committee has been embraced in the Citizen Confederation of Gavazul. They are now more xenophilic. Another theocratic republic. Allied Multics territories are in a commercial pact with the Praku Grand Duchy. My subject has reached Tier 2 of Prospectorium. Doesn't really give me any benefits. It more or less gives them more benefits and me the ability to get governors from them. Yeah, I don't really get any benefits from them leveling up other than the fact that their monthly resources is increased so that they can pay me more, basically, when their taxes. Why am I at minus 45%? I thought I was at minus 30. The minimum dropped. Okay. And the minimum on strategic resources has increased from them going up a level. So now they are losing 5.5 a month. Let's check and see. Overall, they're still gaining 2.2, this says. It's probably going to go to 0, I would think. Or maybe 1. Because the holdings, plus the subject opinion, plus the overlord ethics compatibility, comes up to be 6.5, and this is saying negative 5.5. Let's let it go a month and then check it. They're in a research agreement, the Multics and the Grand Duchy. Alright, now if we go back and check, yeah, it's still saying 2.2. I should be able to start preparing sleeper cells here again. Now, I do have a bureaucrat that can help me out with that and make this a little faster. Senate is now in session for the buzzword standardization. Allied Multics is in a migration treaty with the Grand Duchy. And the Jazzajan has declared secret fealty to us again. We are dropping steadily compared to everyone else because their tech level is skyrocketing past us. Lost contact with our operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria. Find our operatives. Yeah, we're attempting to acquire an asset. Finally finished this archaeological site. Now we are going to go assist research in Finn Habanus. The temporary sunshine of the spotless mind. The final memory shows a much older Saria in a priest's robe, waking up in a state of panic, tentacles flailing and ears flapping. She stumbles out of bed and begins to frantically jot down her recollections of yet another nightmare in which empty-eyed aliens convulse on a habitat floor. Then her face contorts with horror as it dawns upon her that it is all real. The nightmares and the flashbacks are extracted memories coming back to her. And if the extracted memories can return, the inhabitants of Ixbaline could have recovered. The maintenance hatch appears to have opened one last time, but Saraya's ship still remains docked at the landing. We could bring the Memorex back with us to Unity if we wish. Ooh, nice. It would add 20% resources from jobs and 10 stability. Or we could get a chunk of alloys and unity. Xeno Squishbrains, the human, will perfect this Memorex. Yeah, we're definitely going to be boosting our resource output and our stability. That will really help out on planets like this, where we're borderline on stability. A lot of our planets are fairly low stability. We've got another drain on resources with the Uthabillan allied clans. This will not be tolerated. Issue reprimands. It doesn't look like it adjusted our stability. Let's see. Didn't give us a relic. The Memorex Enhanced Learning Program trains the population to better fit the needs of the Empire as they sleep, improving their output significantly. So it's a planet-side modifier only on our capital. 10 stability, 20% resources from jobs here on the capital, which will increase our output of research here on the homeworld. And they towed the line here in the Uthabillan allied clans. That'll boost our operation level and give us a better chance to complete preparing the sleeper cells. Despite our best efforts, we cannot restore our contact with our operatives in the hegemony of Ubaria. Spymaster Divya Vingtasian has ordered a review of monitoring procedures for our spy network there. It is possible that Ubarian might have more sophisticated encryption than we thought. Meanwhile, Operation Acquire Asset has resumed at a reduced capacity while we recoup our losses. So we dropped a little bit of infiltration level. Yeah, we're down to 35. We were at 40. Oh, and I had forgotten to tell them to build the research station here. Afterwards, where do I want to move them to? I guess up to Poligar. Because we do have rare crystals and exotic gases in the vicinity. That's the only place where we have some resources we can acquire anytime soon. We have Zro down here and dark matter up there. The Guden autocracy has been destroyed by its enemies. We're going to continue cleaning out blockers here when we have nothing else to build at the time. This massive crevice, this region is divided by a vast crevice that cuts through what was once a dense urban zone. The ground here is extremely unstable, with frequent earthquakes and landslides. It will free up the industrial sector. This entire region once served as the industrial heartland of the planet. The factories and refineries that operated here have long since stopped working, but vast amounts of scattered resources can still be found in the area. And I've begun upgrading the final station here so I can move them off of patrol. Intherian Galactic League is an immigration treaty with the sovereignty of Tuxcali.
Construction complete.
And we have built our research station over the former archaeological site. So it appears I shut off recording when I thought I turned it on, but it has been another 5 years. We have an unidentified alien menace here that we did not get a first contact with for some strange reason. I'm thinking it is a primitive civilization. Yes, I can see the question mark there now. They're in the early space age. That is why we're not getting a first contact, because they are pre-FTL. We would have to actually survey the planet to get the notification about them. Other than that, what have I done in the last 3 months? Sleeper cells were established with the Uthabillan allied clans, and I believe that's about it. There were a few treaties, non-aggression pacts and such that popped up, but nothing of import. We are working on our building up this fleet, because this one will be at full when all of its reinforcements arrive. And I can start building a naval logistics office here on Tiber Station. That will just leave Elythium to have a naval research station, and this to have 2 anchorages in a naval station when it finishes its upgrade. But it has been another 5 years. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.